Talk about the games happened on December 22nd, Wednesday. We had 6 games originally, but of course, one of those games got canceled. The Toronto Raptors and Chicago Bulls game. If your player got placed into the COVID protocol, don't think of it as like the worst thing possible, right? Because your player is gonna get an out tag. If you have an IR, sure, put it in there. Versus you have a healthy player on this team, but they don't actually get to play, so you can't even put him in the IR. I guess that's the worst possible scenario. And at this rate, a bunch of players like OG got COVID yesterday, got placed into the program. I mean, a bunch of other guys from every team got placed. And based on this rate, the entire NBA is gonna get it, and maybe just get it over with. And maybe when the fantasy playoff comes around, COVID will no longer be really an issue because everybody else has already gone through it. The first game is Orlando Magic beat the Atlanta Hawks 104-98. Again, both teams got a lot of injuries, got a lot of COVID situation going on. For the Magic, Fred Wagner is been playing really well. I would really try to sell him before guys start coming back in the last 2 weeks. Still just the 144th ranked player, but he was averaging 20 points anyways. The reason is 20 points is nice, but it's just one category. He's pretty much negative everything else. Like 0.7 steals is pretty low for him, even though he got 1 steal, 2 blocks here, which is really good. Didn't really shoot the ball well. He was taking 17 field goals per game. And he wasn't really making any 3-pointers. I want to say maybe a sell high, but considering in the last 2 weeks his rank doesn't look so good. But try to sell high if you can. Okiki is a must roster. Okiki in the last 2 weeks, ever since Mo Bamba went down, 52nd ranked player. Why? Because he's averaging 3 steals. He had 6 steals here. It was against the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks do turn the ball over a lot with Trae Young at the point guard, but Trae Young didn't even play this game. But yeah, he just got a couple of steals from Delon Wright, probably, who had 4 turnovers. John Collins, who had 3. But yeah, really good steals guy. He's a must roster. I don't know if he's going to contribute a decent amount of rebound as well. As a power forward, he shoots threes, but main category is the steals. Robin Lopez, rest of the week, we could also stream him. Same thing with Garrett Harris. There are a lot of guys across the league we could stream this week because, guys could just come in, play 30 minutes, and put up pretty good lines. Robin Lopez for rebound and field goal, he's a really good guy. He did that this game. Garrett Harris, 11 for 11 from the free throw line is huge. I don't expect that to happen. But, at this point in Garrett Harris' career, he doesn't really contribute much. Over the years, he hit a lot of threes. He's really, really efficient. He gets steals. Now, I don't think he's no longer efficient. He doesn't really get a lot of steals either. And this guy, Hassani, looked him up. He's a 25-year-old rookie. So they really need some point guard. 8 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists is all right, but let's not pick him up. No, don't know nothing about this guy, and the rest of the guys we could just leave them on the wall, right? And then we have this guy, didn't even have a picture on him. Aleem Ford did not even have a picture on NBA.com, and I can see Tim Frazier is wearing definitely not Orlando Magic's picture when he took when the picture that they're using. But anyways, Cole Anthony and Wendell Carter Jr., we don't know when they're coming back. They both got a questionable tag. For the Atlanta Hawks, Cam Reddish, yes. Kevin Huerter also got placed into the protocol, right? Bogdanovich, we got to pick him up. Cam Reddish, we got to pick them up. Delon Wright, until Trae Young comes back. Did Trae get placed into the safety protocol? Yep, he got placed into COVID protocol. So for the remaining of the week or early next week, Delon Wright is a must roster. I would do Delon Wright first priority, and then Bogdanovich, and then Cam Reddish, even though Cam Reddish had the best game here. Insane efficiency from the 3-point line, 2 blocks, 34 points. It's got to be career high, but he was a minus 18. John Collins, and where is Capella? Capella also got placed into the protocol. Yes, everybody got placed into the protocol. But I don't think Gorgie Jane is a guy we're too excited about. Maybe do a low pass before Gorgie Jane. Skylar Mays played just 9 minutes. Delon Wright, 38 minutes, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 9 rebounds. Yeah, he gets a lot of steals and blocks, and rebound and assist. So if they play some inferior opposition, he might just pop off five steals and 3 blocks in 38 minutes. That's totally possible. Bogdanovic is just easing himself back into from the injury. That's why the minutes is a bit low. You could pick him up now, and once he start playing 30 minutes. But again, like once all the guys are back, I don't expect Bogdanovic to be that great. So I don't know. I'm not too excited about him. Rest of the season, I could be wrong. The next game is the Cleveland Cavaliers lost to the Celtics. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, they started taco fall because both Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley are out. But these guys, they got placed into the last week. They might be back later this week. Let's see. Yeah, Evan Mobley and they might be back next game or next week. They only have 1 game remaining this week, but it's pretty close. I think it's pretty close for both of those guys. Taco forgot to start in 19 minutes, had 2 blocks, and 10 rebounds. If you need rebound and blocks, next game, if you got enough waiver wire, because they only have 1 game left, you could have Taco fall for just for fun. But he's gonna give you a bunch of blocks if he plays just 20 minutes again. Dean Wade, not really interested. Lauren Markkinen have the opportunity with everybody out, didn't really do anything. 9 rebounds. He's a really low end guy, but occasionally he's gonna have 25 points with 12 rebounds. But most nights just disappointing stat line like this. Darius Garland played 40 minutes here. They just really need a lot of minutes. Isaiah Okoro is also out, got placed into the protocol. So Ricky Rubio is a must roster, obviously. Before this, I thought originally the Cleveland Cavaliers game gonna get canceled, but they have more than 9 players, more than 9 players. It's not even close. They got a bunch of guys. They even picked up a guy, Trevin Scott, come in and play 2 minutes. Luke Cornett, look at that. They're just giving out a lot of 10-day contract to guys. I think for the next game, Cedi Osman would be a good stream if you don't care about the field goal. That's about it. Kevin Love in 22 minutes. Wow. He continues to do this in 20 to 25 minute row every night. Grabbing 12 rebounds in 22 minutes, that's really impressive. 18 points, 1 3, 5 for 7 from the free throw line. Impressive stuff. Ricky Rubio, 2 for 12 is bad, but 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals is not. Continues to be a must roster guy. Darius Garland, we already talked about Darius Garland, and I think Darius Garland for the rest of the season, I wouldn't look at him just a top 50 player. I mean, maybe ranking wise, he might be just around that top 50 spot, but the counting stats he's providing is going to be pretty good for the second half of the season. For the Celtics, Romeo Lamford, they also got a lot of COVID situations going on. Al Horford got placed into last week, so he might be close. It's a really good time to sell Jaylen Brown high. 34 minutes, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal and a block. I mean, great efficiency everywhere. I think he's gonna get hurt again. I don't know. He's been out for so long. I don't know. It's hard to trust him just to be healthy rest of the season. Maybe he will, but if I can get eco value back, I would. Robert Williams also popped off finally, right? I think he was a lot of people. I mean, in category leagues, I don't think he was never a drop, right? A guy that played 25 minutes, have 2 blocks, you can never drop guys like this. Finally, a great game. Maybe a sell high because, with Al Horford back, I mean, he just doesn't put up, he's not consistent. 11 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 blocks is really good. 21 points. Jason Tatum continues to struggle from the field, but the peripheral stats look good again. So I would say Jason Tatum is back, even though he still struggles with his shot sometimes. But that's him all his career. Like Jason Tatum, his career field goal. Let's take a look, and Yeah, I mean, career-wise, he's a 45% field goal guy. This year, he had 42%, taking 8.4 threes, only making 33% of them. So 3-point, historically he's been a pretty good 3-point shooter. So maybe he can get that up to 35, 36 with no problem. And then his scoring is gonna go up a tiny bit as well. But the peripheral stats here is pretty good. Marcus Smart, 1 for 7. 3 steals is really good, 4 assists, but don't expect Marcus Smart to give you a bunch of points or be a good field goal guy. And his freedom. Play some huge minutes last time. Now that Robert Williams is back, we got our drop him. And Dennis Schroeder, what's going on with him? Had 5 personal fouls, 1 for 11. Really struggled this game. And like I said, Dennis Schroeder, he provides points and assists. Even though his rankings are pretty bad, but these 2 categories are pretty hard to find on the waiver wire. So that makes him maybe a borderline hold. I would try to sell him, especially when he plays super well without Jaylen Brown or any of the key high usage guys is out. He'll pop off. Let's talk about the next game. The Rockets lost to Milwaukee Bucks. Rockets, they're gonna get guys. They're gonna start getting guys back. Jalen Green might be back very, very soon. Kevin Porter Jr. might be back next week. But not too high on these 2 guys unless you're punting field goal and unless you're punting a couple of efficiency categories. I don't think you want to pick him up. If you are, then it makes sense to roster them once they come back. Garrison Matthews, 5 fouls. He's been underwhelming lately. There was a week or 2 stretch where he just play super well, shoot the ball super well. Had 5 fouls in 27 minutes. If you want to drop him for somebody else, I think it's totally fine. Guys are coming back on the urge of coming back. Jason Tate, again, who they committed? Giannis didn't play. They just committed foul. Who went to the free throw line? Chris Middleton. They're just committing a lot of fouls. Jason Tate is still a hold. Well, Christian Wood played just 28 minutes, interestingly, while Şengün. Maybe it was a blowout, so Şengün got some extra minutes. That's probably why. In 28 minutes, had a 20-10, but the free throws are not coming back. And it's a big center, right? His efficiency has not, his field goal hasn't been good this season. I know he's ran outside of 200 again. On the season, 132nd. But if you're pounding free throws, he's really good. On the season, he's shooting 46% from the field. Blocking just 1 shot, So this is the guy. I don't think I want to take him inside the top 50 next year. The rebound is obviously very, very solid. The points. But everything else is really not there. Usually as a big man, you want to be good at field goal since your free throw is so bad. But he's also not that. Pretty disappointing Christian Wood last 2 years. 2 years ago when he was on Detroit Pistons, he got a lot of hype. He consistently top 20, 30 play, toward the end of the season when he was getting, that was the bubble, before the bubble season. He was if he gets 30 minutes, we know he's going to put up big numbers. And then on the Rockets, maybe they just need a good point guard, right? Him playing with Harden last year in the early season, I thought he played pretty well. So maybe that's what it takes to have a good. Maybe when John Wall comes back, he's going to put up great numbers again. We don't know. Armoni Brooks, not the best game. But if you got him, you could still ride with him for 1 or 2 games until guys come back. Eric Gordon, if you sell him, if you get any value back. But again, all the starters got pretty low minutes this game. Şengün, I think he's not going to get 24 minutes every night. The fact that it was a blowout, Christian Wood lost maybe 6-7 minutes. So who knows? But whenever he plays, he put up pretty good numbers. Free throw is bad, yes. Rebound, assist, steals and block, pretty solid. Kenny Martin Jr., due to the blowout, had 30 minutes. I don't think he's a guy that we want to roster really at this moment. If ever we have a situation, the Rockets decided to play him and Şengün 25 plus every night, that's when we're going. Right now the minutes are too inconsistent. But it's great to see Daniel Theis is out of the rotation completely. For the Milwaukee Bucks, they got the easy win. Giannis got placed into the protocol. He should be back. When? He should be back in 2 games. So end of this week, maybe next week. Depending on how he started getting those negative tests. Chris Middleton, 23 points, 8 for 9 from the free throw line. A pretty good game, but you wanted him to do more with Giannis out. Overall, he's decent. Same thing with, Jrue Holiday played really well. He's slowly coming back after some, early season struggles and injuries. In the last 2 weeks, let's check out Jrue, 39th ranked player. That sounds about right. Could even push higher if he start getting some blocks, just 0.2 blocks in the last 2 weeks. The assists are back, the steals are back. And only shooting 70% from the free throw. And obviously, with Giannis out, he's going to get a usage boost. But in fantasy, Jrue Holiday is very, very solid. Demarcus Cousins. Bobby Portis is also out. Forgot about that. Demarcus Cousins, he had a great game last game. Played also pretty well this game. He's going to play 25 minutes with both of those guys out. So we could stream him for a game or two. Just to, get really good value out of because whenever he plays 25-30 minutes, he put up really good numbers. Had just 1 block. Usually he gets a bunch of defensive stats because he's very aggressive. Pat Connaughton on the defensive end. Pat Connaughton had 4 steals. Again, just continue to put up numbers. Didn't shoot the ball well, but last 2 weeks, he is the 59th ranked player. Continue to put up numbers. Find a way to put up numbers. If the shots are not falling, he gets steals. If he doesn't get steals, he's going to make 5 threes. If you need threes, steals. And usually, solid rebound. He's a guy you could stream or roster because he's been pretty consistent. And even though we have guys coming in and out of the lineup, he always finds himself play 25 to 30 minutes a night. Let's talk about the next game. The Denver Nuggets lost to Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City, they didn't have any COVID. I don't think any of those guys have COVID, and they won 2 straight, 13th in the West. But who knows? But who knows what this team can do? They had some big wins this season, even though they only won 10 games. I think Coach Malone just waved the white flag early. Jokic only played 24 minutes, and the game wasn't really close in the 4th quarter. So now the starters even got above 25. Another reason Denver got a back-to-back today. That's why Malone just kept the player minutes low. Jokic in 25 minutes had 2 blocks, 7 rebounds. Obviously not ideal from Jokic. Will Barton, the efficiency is a very big issue with Will Barton, but the counting stat, rebound, assist, points are usually pretty solid. Obviously a must roster. And Monty Morris' assist numbers has been, higher and higher. 5 assists here, so can't complain. He's a guy we could roster if you want, because he doesn't really turn the ball over that much. He's really efficient as a field goal efficient is pretty. He shoots the ball pretty well from the field. So he's a guy we could roster as well. Campazzo, in the last 2 weeks, Campazzo has been a beast, getting assists, getting steals, and getting 2 blocks. The way he gets blocks, he doesn't meet people at the top. No way. He strips. He gets steals. He gets blocks. As a point guard, 0.5 blocks is still decent. He's a guy we could look to stream for some, not for points, but everything else. The rest of the guys not really interested for the Denver guys. Jeff Green have come in and played some heavy minutes, but hasn't really done anything in the last 2 weeks. He's not even ranked. So even though he played maybe 30 minutes a night, in weeks where Denver have 3 games, he is not a stream. You could just get rid of him. Just doesn't put up any numbers. Even though he's pretty efficient, can hit some threes. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, all the guys play high minutes, so clearly the Thunder coach wanted to play all the starters till the end. Lou Dort played 34 minutes, 15 points, 4 turnovers, 4 threes. If you don't care about the field goal, the points and threes he's providing is pretty good. Took 10 threes here. 13 field goals, 10 of them are threes, and usually are wide open. Because NBA defense still doesn't think he's doesn't really pay too much attention to him when he's on the 3-point line. Jeremy Robinson-Earl, minutes are high, and now he's starting at the power forward position. An okay line, 14 points, 9 rebounds. He's super inconsistent. Even if he gets 30 minutes a night, I'm not sure. We could stream him if the schedule is good. Otherwise, leave him on the waiver. But they're one of the two teams that have 4 games this week, so maybe he was a good stream. Same thing with Darius Bazley, 20. Now he's coming off the bench now and putting up way better numbers. 28 minutes, good field goal. You don't really see that often. 11 rebounds, that's great. 2 blocks, yes. 17 points, pretty good. Darius Bazley has been putting up some good fantasy lines. Let's check out the last 2 weeks. Well, still just 177th ranked player in the last 2 weeks, because the efficiency issues, mainly. Shea, pretty good game. Struggled from the field a little bit. Missed 7 of his threes, but 7 for 7 from the free throw line is huge. 11 rebounds, 12 assists is also great. Josh Giddey, decent game. The rebounding assists are not great, but provided 2 steals in the block, 14 points. Josh Giddey to me is a must roster. The rankings for him are pretty bad, mainly because the efficiencies. But he doesn't hurt you. He's not like a Kevin Porter Jr. He hurts you a little bit. So I think that's fine. With Kevin Porter Jr., you might want to punt a bunch of categories, because he turns the ball over way too much. His field goal is in the 30s, and his free throw 60% on 5 attempts, also pretty bad. Right, a bunch of things. And let's look at the next game, the last game of the night. The LA Clippers, news came out. They got a couple guys placed into the safety protocol. I think Luke Kennard was one of them. But overall, I think Clippers, they are, Reggie Jackson also. But they haven't been hit that bad because they're pretty deep. Paul George came back. Well, he was questionable, the elbow, but didn't really... Well, he struggled shooting the ball, but fantasy-wise, this is a great line. 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals and a block. Paul George's steal numbers are back this season. Really impressive stuff. If he's going to keep this up, he could be a top 10 player. Nicholas Batum got just 21 minutes. Eric Bledsoe, Terrence Mann, Nicholas Batum, these 3 guys, we could stream them for the... Well, they only have 1 game left, so maybe not really a stream. Because, Luke Kennard, you could stream them until next week. I think Luke Kennard is going to be out, Reggie Jackson going to be out, so, those extra guard wing time, playing time could go to Batum, Bledsoe especially. Batum play, with all the guys out, he plays just 21 minutes, but 2 steals and a block is pretty good. Zubac, 26 minutes, had 10 points, a block, 6 rebounds. Great efficiency across the board, as he always does. Eric Bledsoe, decent game here. I think like I said, you want to stream him until guys come back and try to see if you can get any value back. But the rest of the guys are pretty boring. Really not much to talk about. Let's look at the Kings. Check out what their rotation looks like. Tyrese Halliburton is playing great, man, with De'Aaron Fox out. 22 points, 7 turnovers. Yes, that's expected. Everything's going through him now. 13 assists, 3 steals and block. I really like Tyrese, but this got to be a sell high. In the last 2 weeks, he is the... where's Tyrese? '25th ranked player. Oh, is this right? He's just a 25th ranked player? I guess that's right. Yeah. I thought he would be like a top 10 or something. But really good stuff. I would try to sell high. That just tells you like how, who knows, like if De'Aaron Fox gets traded or whatever, Tyrese Halliburton could be a top 20 player very soon, because he gets assists, he gets steals, he gets blocks, right? Fairly efficient everywhere. kind of like a Jimmy Butler type of player. They're a little bit different because Tyrese hits a lot of threes, but the rest of the line looks like Jimmy Butler's. Buddy Hield 5 for 22, also a sell high if you can. When De'Aaron Fox should be back soon. Fox should be back soon. Richaun Holmes, the big news is he came back, played just 60 minutes. I don't know why the minutes is super low for him. Maybe they want to maintain him for maintenance reasons. First game back, that's fine. Still, Richaun Holmes is a must roster. His impact on field goal is huge. Chimezie Metu, consistent 30 plus minutes now. That could go away anytime soon, any minute. But if he gets 30 minutes, I think we have to roster him. 10 rebounds and a steal, 11 points. Harrison Barnes also had an okay game, 18 points with 1 steal. But this Kings rotation, we don't know what happens when all the guys are coming back. They do have a couple good fantasy players, right? We know Terrence Davis, when he gets 30 minutes, he could be a top 60 player. Chimezie Metu, when he gets 30 minutes, he could be maybe a top 80, top 90. In the last 2 weeks, he's just 130th ranked player. Mainly, he's having some issues with his efficiency. But I think if he plays 30, he's a must roster. We just don't know what happens when guys come back. And that's it, guys. That's all the games. I will see you tomorrow.